Tonight, we will be honoring our senior members of the Speedway High School Girls Basketball team. But before we do that, we'd like to also honor Scecina Memorial seniors, as well as present them with a small gift from our basketball program. Scecina's senior members of the basketball team are number 12, Olivia Smith. Number 25, Allie Minton. Number 30, Vanessa Asher. And number 35, Alyssa Monday. Congratulations to all of Scecina's seniors, and good luck the rest of your senior year. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, Speedway High School and its athletic department would like to recognize our senior players and their escorts. Seniors, on behalf of Speedway High School and the athletic department, thank you for your years of dedication to the Speedway Girls Basketball program. It is our hope that the valuable lessons that you have learned while participating in education-based high school athletics will serve you well as your adult years unfold. Best of luck always, and remember, once a spark plug, always a spark plug. To the family members of our seniors, thank you for your time, talents, and treasures you have provided for your special senior in an effort to provide outstanding experiences for all members of the program. Prior to starting tonight's ceremony, the Speedway High School Athletic Department would like to thank Toland's Florist on Main Street in Speedway for providing tonight's flowers. Tonight's first senior to be recognized, number 32, Maddie Barnes. Escorted by her mom, Terry, and her brother, Taylor, Maddie has participated in 4 years of Speedway High School basketball, as well as 4 years of volleyball and softball. She has also participated in student athletic leadership team, the FCA, and her future plans are to play volleyball or basketball at an undecided school and study elementary education. Ladies and gentlemen, Maddie Barnes. Next up, number 24, Maddie Golden. Escorted by her mom, Sharon, dad, Matt, brothers Jackson and Nicholas. She's been a member of the Speedway High School varsity program for 4 years, as well as participating in volleyball and softball for 4 years. She participates in student council, the athletic leadership team, National Honor Society, and FCA. Her future plans are to attend Ball State and study business, entrepreneurship, and interior design. Maddie Golden. Next up, number 10, Brooke Hartman. Her escorts are dad, Jeff, mom, Carrie, and brother, Peyton. She's been a member of the Speedway High School varsity basketball team for 4 years, and she's also participated in volleyball and softball for 4 years. Other Speedway High School activities she's participated in: student council, FCA, student athletic leadership, and National Honor Society. Her future plans are to attend Indiana University to study accounting and business management. Ladies and gentlemen, Brooke Hartman. Next up, number 20, Lane Hooper. Escorted by her parents, Bill and Becky, brothers Cole and Owen, and her sister Paige. She's been a member of the Speedway basketball program for 4 years, as well as participated in the soccer and softball programs for 4 years. She's also a member of the National Honor Society, a member of the Student Council, the Student Athletic Leadership Club, and plans to attend Ball State or IU to study nursing. Ladies and gentlemen, Lane Hooper. Once again, everybody, good luck to our seniors the remainder of this season, the remainder of your senior year, and whatever life after high school sends your way. Let's give all the seniors and their escorts one more show of support.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Ready to go? Ready?
Good evening, basketball fans. I'm Tom Smith. I'm here with Ron Probst tonight at Morris Pollard Gymnasium to bring you the girls' home opener, the girls' basketball season. The Plugs are 2-0 right now. Scecina Crusaders, the visitors tonight, are 0-2 at the time. I want to first talk about the starting lineup and why we're doing what we're doing tonight with senior night, Coach. At one guard for the Spark Plugs is a 5'10 senior, number 10, Brooke Hartman. Another starter, Lane Hooper, a 5'5 senior, number 20. She will be starting at a forward, also a senior. Senior Maddie Golden, a 5'9 senior, number 24. And the Spark Plugs leading scorer, number 32, 5'9 senior guard, Maddie Barnes. The fifth starter is Camille Perry, who this is her third year to start as a junior. She began her career here starting as a freshman, and I think has played every game for 3 years that the Spark Plugs have had. She's a 5'6 junior. She'll be the point guard, and she's the one that makes them go. Number 23, Camille Perry. Coach, they have 4 seniors on the team. It's senior night. Talk a little bit about why senior night's this time in the season.
Well, I think first of all, I want to give a big shout out to all of our fall athletic teams here and our whole school. You know, you hear a lot about comments that, well, these are young kids and you can't expect them to follow all the protocols that are being suggested. But all of our fall sports got through, had some bumps along the way, but we're very happy that they could finish, and that's a credit to them and their coaches because it was not easy to do that. And now as we start the girls basketball season, I was talking a little bit ago, it's the third week of the season already, and there's 50 schools that have not even played one game yet. So it's going to be one of these things all year long. So I think we did the same thing in volleyball and perhaps in football, and a great idea on athletic director Brian Avery's part is to let's honor the seniors right now, because I know Coach Smith said several times, tomorrow's not promised. You never know what's going to happen. I read right before I came over tonight where Lagodi is done for 2 weeks of 0. I mean, everybody quarantined, and those things can happen, even though everybody's doing what they're supposed to do. As we all know, the way this thing is working, it can happen any time. But so we want to be able to make sure that we honor our seniors now when we get a chance, and hopefully nothing, knock on wood, would deter us from doing that later in the year. But it's a great idea to do it now and to make sure that the girls get exactly the accolades they deserve. They've worked hard for 4 years, and you know, we had in football, I think there were 15 or 20 schools that were unable to play. And one of them was the final game of the sectional. I think it might have been McCutcheon. And of course the football programs only have tonight and next week, so they're about there too, but you never know. So great idea on the Coach Smith's part and Brian Avery to honor those girls tonight.
Well, it certainly has been a strange time since last March, and I don't need to belabor the fact, but it's a strange situation for schools. As of today, it was the last day for Speedway students to be here until January the 19th, I believe. They'll be virtual up until then, and I know some questions have been raised about why we closed. Did we have to close? And the answer to that is yes. The governor, the mayor of Indianapolis, and Marion County Health Commissioner are the 3 people that can decide without you having any input into it, although our superintendent, Dr. Kyle Trebley, meets with Virginia Kane on a weekly basis with all the other superintendents, and they work very hard, as you said, and particularly this school has been very fortunate. And you mentioned in fall sports, we really didn't lose games because our teams couldn't compete because we had too many people that were, because of contact tracing, couldn't play. And as you said, they've decided to have senior nights early, not knowing what the future is going to be. But certainly we hope that come January 19th, kids are back in school. I think regardless of what they say, they'd rather be back in school where their friends are.
Absolutely.
And certainly research would say that they learn more when they're here in school in person with a teacher. But because of the spike in Marion County, the health commissioner has decided in the county's best interest to require all schools, grades K through 12 at this point, to remain virtual until the 19th of January.
You know, in addition to that, you know, I was AD here for 4 years, and I know what it's like in a normal year. Mr. Avery's done a fantastic job, and at some point, if not tonight, our next broadcast, we need to get, I know a lot of people are not on Twitter, but if you are, to check that constantly, because just because a game is scheduled for Tuesday night, which there is, a boys game, doesn't mean that there's going to be a game Tuesday night, and it may not come out until Tuesday morning. We don't know. But he will try to do everything he can, and he does, to keep everybody up to date. But, you know, you look at, in this situation, I'm sure there's a list of teams that are available to play in case you can't play. And then you've got to look at officials, and it's, talk about a juggling act.
Yeah.
He's got a big one this year, and so far everything's been handled fantastically.
And it's not as easy as it may seem. As you said, you got to think about officials and game workers and so on.
It's amazing what all goes into it. So, like I said, a lot of other schools have had a lot more issues. But let's just hope we can keep it going. And
well, you mentioned, and if you're not on Twitter, you mentioned the boys are going to play now Tuesday night instead of Wednesday night because the girls originally had a game scheduled Wednesday. Park Tudor can't play because of COVID, so they picked up Deaf School, who they will play here at home tomorrow night instead of Park Tudor. But because the Park Tudor game Tuesday night got canceled, that allowed the boys to move their game from the night before Thanksgiving to Tuesday night, and so our boys will have their home opener on Tuesday night against North Montgomery. And I say that knowing that that all could change tomorrow.
Sure. Yeah, everything is in flux this year, and it's just, you need to pay attention. You Speedway Athletics on Twitter. There's another website that's not as up to date, and I'm not sure the listeners know about it, but it's a great website. It's John Harrell. It's John, Harrell. Just Google that and put Indiana Girls Basketball, and he's got the schedules of every team in the state, up to date scores. If anything is like, it's already got the ones for our girls team that were canceled. It's already on there, but it's not quite as up to date as what you would get through here. But it's a great website to look at. You can, not just the schedules and the scores, but it's got past history and classes and the Jeff Sagarin ratings. If you enjoy looking at those sorts of things, which I do, that's a website you're going to want to look at.
Well, certainly the Spark Plugs this is their home opener. They have beaten Southport at Southport, and for the first time in 11 years beat Cardinal Ritter at Ritter. So the Plugs will enter this game 2-0. As we said earlier, Scecina is 0-2. And let's talk about their starting lineup a little bit, and then some players of theirs that are missing and why. At one guard for Scecina is Maddie Martin, a 5'8" junior, number 2. Another starter at guard is Olivia Smith, a 5'5" senior, number 12. Sierra Berry, a 5'6" junior, a third guard, number 24. Allie Minton, a 5'6" senior guard, is number 25. And Vanessa Asher, a 5'10" senior, number 30, will start at center. So they'll start 4 guards and a center. As we said, they are 0-2. They are missing Olivia Garrison tonight, Tara Joyner, and Alyssa Monday. And in talking to Coach Jacob DeWild before the game, he said 2 of those are injuries, and one of them is a COVID contact tracing situation. And as you said a minute ago, that's what many schools have gone through, and we've, knock on wood, kind of avoided that up to this point, to be, numbers of people out, and I hope that continues. Well, we will be right back with the national anthem and the start of tonight's game.
nation's flag with the playing of our national anthem. Speedway High School, its administration and athletic department would like to take this opportunity to welcome our guests from Scecina Memorial High School. Restrooms are located on the second level of the gym behind the American flag and also on the first level of the school in the hallway opposite the team benches. The concession stand is open on the second level of the south end of the gymnasium opposite the American flag. In the spirit of sportsmanship and education-based athletics, we ask for all attending today's contest to act responsibly and courteously to those around them. Negative language and inappropriate behavior will not be tolerated. Please give the players, officials, and coaches the respect they deserve. Thanks for being a good sport. In an effort to allow our student athletes to continue to play the game they love, please adhere to all COVID-related expectations, including wearing your mask at all times, sitting with family members in small groups, remaining socially distanced whenever possible, and leaving the building shortly after the game is ended. Now, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight's starting lineup, for the visiting Scecina Memorial Crusaders, at guard, number 12, Olivia Smith. At guard,
Again, Olivia Smith, the 5'5" senior. Number 2,
at guard,
number 24, Sierra Berry, a 5'6" junior. Number 24,
number 2,
25, Allie Minton, a 5'6" senior guard.
Vanessa Asher, the head coach of the Crusaders.
Vanessa Asher, number 30,
His assistants are Joe
center, a 5'10" senior. And Maddie Martin, number 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, the starting lineup for the Speedway Spark Club.
Once again, Scecina 0-2. They have lost to Covenant Christian, who has a really good basketball team, and they've lost to LaPel, who usually does have a good basketball team. Once again, the Spark Plugs have defeated both Ritter and Southport. Speedway starters, Brooke Hartman, number 10, Camille Perry, number 23, Lane Hooper, number 20, Maddie Golden, 24, and Maddie Barnes, 32. Spark Plugs coached by Joe Smith. Scecina coached by Jacob DeWild. Coach, it'll be interesting to see if the start tonight, Coach Smith a lot of times starts games with pressure and full court pressure after scores and so on, trying to jump out and get a lead on teams. It'll be interesting to see whether that's the method of operation in tonight's game against the Crusaders.
We've got some girls that are veterans, played for, and you mentioned Perry starting since she's been a freshman. I know the other, Maddie Barnes and
Barnes and Hartman and Golden have too.
Yeah.
Lane Hooper is the only one that hadn't started for 3 years in a row. Speedway gets a tip, it goes to Maddie Barnes. 2-3 zone defense by Crusaders. Penetration by Camille Perry, and she scores.
Number 23, Camille Perry.
Oh, 3/4 court press. Nice job by number 12, Olivia Smith. Dribbled through 3 of the Plugs. Golden's attempt back to Perry, intercepted. Crusaders bring it down. Once again, Plugs lead. Asher's shot misses. I don't think it's a timeout. I think Camille Perry came down on her ankle or something.
I don't know. I guess that's what it was. I didn't see it, but
And then, then she went up and she wears glasses, and she went up and I don't know whether she
equipment must have been an equipment reason.
Brooke Hartman with 3, no good. Perry with the turnover. Crusaders have the ball. Plugs again in a zone defense. Perry knocks it away from Vanessa Asher. Pass to Maddie Golden underneath, no good. Puts it back up, no good. Two shots in the lane, coach, but a lot of activity around there.
That was almost a Moses Malone situation. But he used to miss them on purpose, though.
Yeah.
That's over and back.
That's an over and back on the Crusaders. Turnover by Allie Minton. I think maybe more of an equipment thing. She doesn't seem like an ankle's bothering her. Set play for Brooke Hartman in the 3. No good. We got a jump ball, and it'll be Scecina's ball on alternate possession. In the 2 games that the Plugs have had, they haven't shot the ball particularly well in either game, but they've gotten leads built up in the second half by hitting 2 or 3 3-pointers in a row. 24. Sierra Berry scores for the Crusaders. So slow start to the game, 5:20 remaining in this first quarter, score 2-2. Maddie Golden with the rebound after Vanessa Asher miss. Camille Perry brings it down. Elaine Hooper to Brooke Hartman. Brooke Hartman's going to have 2 free throws. I know in the Ritter game, Maddie Golden hit a 3. Maddie Barnes hit a couple threes. Brooke Hartman hit a couple threes. It kind of sent a game that was pretty even into a double-digit lead. And as you've mentioned, the experience they have, big plus. They're not afraid to shoot.
A lot of teams are like this, but I could really see this team being on streaks. And I'm not necessarily saying bad streaks. I can see this team having some really good streaks in the ballgame. Through some steals and hitting some threes and having those 10-2, 8-0 runs that many times are a difference in games.
Double dribble by Olivia Smith. Plugs will have the ball out of bounds. Special play from Maddie Barnes, 3, no good. Lane Hooper gets her hands on the ball and saves it for the Plugs. Maddie Barnes with the turnover on the pass inside. Olivia Smith brings it up for the Crusaders. Plugs now man-to-man defense. I think Coach Smith's doing that to kind of speed up the tempo
yes.
a little bit on the half court. We talked about Lane Hooper a little bit in the 2 games they've had so far. She's kind of a role player. She gets in there and bangs around on rebounds, handles the ball, has scored but doesn't look to score particularly. But the kind of player you need if you're going to be successful. Missed by Olivia Smith. Camille Perry with the ball. Pass to Barnes down on the baseline, and a smooth 2-pointer from Maddie Barnes. The Plugs lead 6-2. Olivia Smith miss. Daniela Galvez, a freshman, number 33, into the game. Got a jump ball, alternate possession. It'll be spark plug ball. Once again, taking the ball out, Daniela Galvez. She's a 5'9" freshman, number 33. She was the leading scorer in the game against Southport. Primarily an inside player. Good movement. Maddie Barnes a miss. Daniela with a rebound. Puts it on the floor once and back in the basket. Quick field goal by Daniela. Plugs lead is 8-2. 2:40 remaining in this first quarter. Steal by Maddie Golden. Maddie Barnes on the ball and the dribble. Melinda Bryant also on the ball game for the Spark Plugs. Maddie Golden for 2. That rolls around and goes in. And we got a timeout by the Plugs.
I think you're right. Earlier when we switched defenses, I think Coach Smith wanted to speed this thing up a little bit. And you can tell we're more of an up and down team. With them having a few players out, probably a little bit different than what they normally would be used to.
Well, as we said, take advantage of the, while it doesn't look like Scecina at this point has particularly great outside shooting, which would want to make you play a zone defense. If you're going to, they'll stand around and throw it around, and it's to our advantage. The more possessions we get is.
Sure.
So once again, to set the lineup here, Daniel Galvez, a freshman, number 33. Melinda Bryant, number 4, a junior. Maddie Golden, 24. Maddie Barnes, 32. Both seniors, and Camille Perry, a junior. So 2 juniors, 2 seniors, and a freshman out on the floor right now for the Spark Plugs. The 2 games Speedway's played, Coach Smith rotates people around. Every player will come out in the first half, I can promise you. Brooke Hartman's already been out. She's over checking back in. Lane Hooper's been in, and she's over on the bench.
A lot of things you can do when you have confidence in 3, 4, 5 people coming off the bench. A lot of things you can do that you can't normally do if you're only 6 deep.
And so to the bench is Camille Perry and Maddie Golden. So So Maddie Barnes, the only starter that's been in the whole time, and he'll replace her, would be my guess, next. He does a good job of keeping them fresh. No, Coach, the pass right there by Brooke Hartman. Trying to go over the top. I counted the times in the Ritter game where Coach Pollard, who was my high school coach, was a stickler on bounce passes, saying nobody's hands are down on the ground where bounce passes go. But it's kind of a lost art.
Yeah.
You know, as the 10-foot jump shot is, or the 15-foot jump shot, the bounce pass is something you don't see nearly like you used to, and fundamentally.
And when passing inside, it's a necessity. I mean, when you're on the perimeter, a little bit different, but when you're inside,
Absolutely.
You've got to be bounce passing.
And a lot of passes around the perimeter. Coach Pollard is all in favor of, you know, two-handed chest pass type, but interior passing,
Yeah.
passing from wings inside, he was a stickler on bounce passes. Daniela Galvez comes up with a rebound for the Spark Plugs. Maddie Barnes with a dribble. Over to Melinda Bryant.
Boom. No bucket.
Three-pointer that went in, but it hit the timing box up above the rim. So no three-pointer for Melinda. Ten to 2, 9 seconds left in this first quarter. So once again, the first quarter score 10 to 2. For the Crusaders, their field goal was Sierra Berry. For the Spark Plugs, Brooke Hartman with 2 free throws. Camille Perry with a field goal. Maddie Barnes with 2 field goals. Daniela Galvez with 1 field goal. Thoughts, Coach?
Well, not necessarily what's happened in the first quarter, but I saw something here that it's COVID related, and I wouldn't have thought of it, but we switched basketballs. I thought for a minute I didn't know if the basketball didn't have enough air in it, but apparently one of the suggestions is to switch basketballs after every quarter as often as you can. And again, we talked about that earlier. It's like all the things that are being done to keep everybody safe as possible, and it's things that we don't think about. And
Absolutely.
I think our game is up and down, and I think most of our shots have been good. We've had some bad interior passes. I think we've gotten a little hurry a couple of times, but I guess would be we want to get up and down. And we're not very tall. We're going to have rebounding by committee this year, which is okay. But not a lot of scoring in the first quarter, 10 to 2.
No. Bad pass. Going to tell Daniela, don't lead the battleship into battle. You're the center, not the point guard. Maddie Barnes for 3, off the rim. Olivia Smith with the turnover.
Smith's a good little ball handler. Has gotten out of control a couple times.
Yes, she's got some speed and quickness when she handles the ball. Brooke Hartman for 3, and it's good. Perry with the pass to Maddie
Nice
Barnes.
cut.
Back out to Maddie Golden. Maddie Golden.
Nice play.
The two-pointer. The Plugs lead 15-2.
13 unanswered points by Speedway.
Checking in for the Crusaders, number 30, Vanessa.
Number 30, Vanessa Asher back in the ball game.
There.
Olivia Smith for 2. Good penetration, good shot. Maddie Golden for 2.
Yes.
Second consecutive field goal and her 4th point of the game. And that'll be plug ball. Neil Perry for 3, and that's good. And that's good to see. She's very tentative on taking 3-point shots. Not that she needs to fire away, but when you're wide open like she was, she's got to be able to take that shot. You know, it's so easy to look at missed 3-pointers, and you and I have talked about the math before in that. You hit 4 out of 10 3-pointers and you're shooting 40%. You got to shoot 60% from 2-point range to.
A lot of rule changes. Of course, most of the people that watching tonight, a lot of the people perhaps younger, wouldn't even remember when the 3-point shot was not in effect, but I think it was around 1988 or 89, but it really changed the game. I mean, all you have to do is go back and watch some of the old videos, collegiately, even high school, if you have some old videos of state tournament games before the 3-point line and how much it's changed it. In college, they actually had to back the line up a little bit because it was becoming too easy.
Well, and you look at pro basketball, it's become a Dallas Maverick average 41 3-point attempts a game. It's become a spread the floor out and shoot threes. Vanessa Asher with her 2nd field goal.
Now, I watched the NBA draft, and there's a player from Memphis that got drafted, I think the 2nd pick, Wiseman, and he looks like a great player, 7 foot. They talked about his wingspan, but right. But then he went on to say that, well, given the way the game is, you know, 10 years ago he would have been the top pick easily, but to me he looked like the top pick anyway. But
right.
But it's the big guys aren't. It's not a big guys game anymore. It's, when I say big guys, I'm talking about the 7-footers and the 7'2" guys.
As you said, the game certainly has changed with the 3-pointer. The plodding along 7-foot center in the NBA, and
you know, wait till after this play here. Nice pass, get in. Beautiful. Here we go. Now we're starting to pick it up a little bit.
Daniela Galvez with a nice pass from Camille Perry, 27-8 in favor of the Plugs. Maddie Barnes hauls down the rebound. Camille Perry on the run. There's a case where a bounce pass.
Could have been your bounce pass, exactly.
Camille Perry on the interior shot misses. Tosses out to Maddie Barnes for 3, misses. And Jayla Neodura comes down with a rebound for the Crusaders. Daniela Galvez gets the loose ball. Addie Golden for two, no good.
You know, as you watch, and I think you see a lot more in girls basketball than you do in high school than boys, is you see freshmen getting the opportunity to play a little bit more than the boys. And something, anytime you have a freshman on the varsity, most times is stamina is an issue. They're not used to the up and down. It's the same way in college. I think most coaches would tell you that.
You know, I watched the boys scrimmage last night against Manual, and freshman Nate Metallic played last year on the varsity all the time, and he looks so much more confident this year as a sophomore than he was last year. And you know, I keep telling people in Marion County, if you're a freshman and you're playing on a varsity basketball team or baseball team or football team, it's still pretty rare to have a freshman that plays a lot.
Checking in for the Crusaders now. Timeout. Number 12, Olivia Smith. Number 24, Peter Berry. And number 31, Anna Wellborn. Speedway substitution. Number 4, Olivia Bryant. And number 20, Lane Hooper.
We will see the boys next Tuesday night in the scrimmage last night against Manual, and I think it's going to be a long year for Manual, but Drew Valentine looked very good last night, as did really
I'll tell you, there wasn't very many players that I enjoyed watching play more than Drew last year, all year, but I know he was hurt there at the beginning of the year, but then when he came back, he was, and even go back to 2 years ago when I remember the final game of the sectional here against Heritage Christian, against a really good team, but fun person to watch play.
And he seemed like last night, part of last year after he came back from the injury, he looked like he was still a little bit tentative. Last night there wasn't any of that.
Crusader foul on number 25, Allie.
25, Allie Minton with the foul.
Something
Charge
about,
taken by
something
Maddie
about
Golden.
taking a charge. It's kind of like getting a sack in football. Or It's just, it gears everybody up, and it's
excites the crowd, sometimes a momentum changer.
yeah.
I know my college coach at Miami of Ohio, Tate's Lock, that was like scoring a field goal when you took a charge. Maybe a dunk even.
Speedway basket number 23, Camille Perry.
Neil Perry with her 7th point on the night. Melinda Bryant back into the game for the Spark Plugs. Rebound hauled down by Lane Hooper. Camille Perry. And if you'll note, Maddie Barnes has been over on the bench for a while. All 5 starters have set some this first half. Melinda Bryant with a shot. Lane Hooper stepped on the line trying to save it. So it'll be Crusader ball. Daniela Galvez and Maddie Barnes back in. So Spark Plugs have 7 players right now that they pretty much rotate around. Got some freshmen sitting on the bench that have seen game action. Sophomore Tamina Gibson also on the bench. A 3-point field goal by Maddie Martin. Melinda Bryant with a miss. Lane Hooper on the floor to get a jump ball. It'd be Speedway's possession. 29-11, 1 minute, 4 seconds left in this first half. Inbounds to Maddie Barnes. Quickly gets the 3. I thought it was going in.
Me too.
And travel on Melinda Bryant. The Crusader ball. Plugs have hit 3 threes this second quarter. 3 different players. Lane Hooper with the steal. Maddie Barnes with the drive. A layup misses. And we're going to have a foul, I believe, on Lane Hooper.
Foul is on Speedway's number 20, Lane Hooper, for first, team first.
And that's the team's first foul of the first half.
Wow. Yeah, I didn't realize that till right now. Four total fouls. Good ball movement.
Maddie Barnes comes down with a miss. Nice pass to Lane Hooper and a nice steal by Olivia Smith.
Oh, wow.
A foul on Maddie Barnes. Good hustle by Olivia Smith.
Yeah.
Speedway foul on number 32, Maddie Barnes, for first.
13 seconds remaining in this first half. And we got a timeout, Scecina.
Timeout, Crusaders. This is a full timeout.
I haven't kept track of timeouts. I don't know if that's their second or third timeout, the first half. You know, some people may say, why would you call a timeout with 13 seconds to go in the half? But you got to give coach credit. Trying to draw up something, see if something works, not stop coaching because the score's 29-11.
Sure.
He's still trying to get his girls to do a learning experience, improve.
And set up a special play and see what happens.
It'll be interesting college basketball season, a lot more travel, a lot more games. I believe the Maui Classic's in Charlotte, isn't it?
Yeah, it's in the United States. I'm not sure where it is.
I think it's in Charlotte,
Yeah.
North Carolina.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't forget tomorrow night the girls varsity hosts Indiana Deb here at the Morris Pollard Gymnasium at 6 p.m. tip-off tomorrow night.
Hey, let's see what they drew up. Well, it
We
worked.
got a field goal.
Crusaders also number 31.
Anna Wellborn with the last field goal for the Crusaders. Crusaders scoring 11 points that quarter for their total of 13. Plug scoring 19 points for the halftime score of Speedway 29. Scecina 13 at halftime, and we'll be right back with the scoring in this first half.
We're back here at halftime. Pollard Gymnasium, Speedway 29, Scecina 13 at half. It's up and down first quarter. Sparkplugs led at the end of the first quarter 10-2. Scecina ends up scoring the last 5 points of the second quarter to draw within 16, to 29-13 at halftime. Sparkplugs, I've checked the scoring here. Brooke Hartman with 7, Camille Perry with 7, Maddie Barnes with 7. We also have Daniela Gavez with 4, and Maddie Golden with 4. So Sparkplug scoring has been spread out with the whole team, which I think, as we talked to several times in the first half, kind of is the strength of this team. Looks to be like the spreading the ball around, a lot of different scores, a lot of different players scoring. I don't think they're going to have to rely on one person. And they did get a little bit of a run there in the second quarter with some three-pointers, which helped. Scecina will be taking the ball out on the sideline to start the second quarter. Excuse me, to start the second half. I don't know how many points Smith has at halftime for, doesn't look like she scored, but she really is a fun little player to watch, I think.
She had 2.
She had 2 points. She,
Maddie Martin with a 3, had 3 points. Vanessa Asher with 4. Anna Welburn with 2 for their total of 13. Plugs had 3 people with 7 points. Brooke Hartman was 7, Camille Perry 7, Maddie Barnes was 7. Maddie Golden had 2 free throws for 4 points. Daniela Galvez had 2 free throws for 4 points. So 3 with 21, 2 with 4, 5 different scores for the Sparkplugs in the first half.
and I think that can kind of be a story of the year. We're going to have a lot of different people leading scorers in different games throughout the year. It's not going to be a 1 or 2 person show.
They don't have to rely on one person to score for them.
And they're going to score in different ways. They're going to score on some layups. They're going to score on three-pointers, free throws.
Maddie Barnes on the steal.
Maddie kind of tried a little bounce pass there, but it was with her right hand. And,
kind of telegraphed.
Yes, and it was right into the arms of the Scecina player.
I was going to call that out that Camille Perry is going to get a field goal here, but I thought I'd better wait to see what happened. I'm glad I did.
Well, maybe you'll get it here. Yep.
We've got a foul on Olivia Smith.
Crusader foul on number 12, Olivia Smith. Her first, team
That's
first.
her first, team's first in the second half. Ball goes inside Elaine Hooper, gets blocked, gets the ball back, and gives it up to 24, Sierra Berry, who scored the first Scecina field goal in the first half.
Nice pass.
Nice pass from Vanessa Asher. And we've got a jump ball. It's going to be spark plug ball. You know, one of the things, Coach, earlier in the year, the same thing will be true for the boys. Girls have probably had 10 or 12 practices. This is their third game. Boys will be the same thing Tuesday night, a minimum of practices, but I think the boys have probably had 10 practices maybe.
Yep, they
And
practice.
you can remember, I know I can back when I coach, you can too, trying to get inbounds plays and some of your defenses, and then over Christmas you'll add some things that you didn't have in
But
the
when
start
we
of the year.
coached, it was a lot different. We started, when I first started coaching, we started October 15th.
Yes.
And oh my gosh, I remember my first couple of years coaching here, we had 28 practices before our first game. A little bit different now. Like you said, they'd have, and I don't think there's a lot of.
And particularly though, when you got football players,
Yeah.
they didn't get many practices in.
True.
Maddie Golden goes up strong for the shot and is fouled.
I think early in the year there's not a lot of, well, it's not, probably shouldn't say it that way, but not a lot of strategy, not as near as much strategy as you're going to see after Christmas. Need to find out what you got. I mean, you don't want to hold your team down. You want to find out what your players can do, especially your younger players.
You know, for the girls, their county tourney's coming up in a couple of weeks. Just, you see a lot of games packed into
yeah.
late November and
Yeah.
the month of December for.
You were talking, we were discussing earlier about three-point shooting. Something I hated to see today was Clay Thompson having it
Gone for the year.
gone for the year, and I
Achilles.
will never forget. I probably will mention this way too often. May get tired of it. The night when he had 56 or 57 against the Pacers, and had 11 dribbles, and to me that's. And a lot of three-pointers, obviously. Nice pass.
Nice pass from Maddie Golden with the field goal. Her first point, her fourth point this half. She's got all the spark plugs points. Well, wasn't there something? Somebody had the ball 90 seconds
Yeah,
in their
in
hands.
that same game, it was
Curry.
the amount of. Well, it wasn't the same game probably, but yeah, it was somebody only had the ball in their hands so many seconds and had a large number of points. Nice.
Camille Perry with 3. And she may have, Coach, but I don't remember Camille hitting 2 threes in a game
Yeah.
last year, and she may have, but that makes me happy and excited
Yeah,
for
yeah.
another piece of her offense that's come together as a junior. Steal by Lane Hooper to Camille Perry.
Another good pass.
A good pass from Maddie
Starting to
Barnes
roll right now.
to Maddie Golden, and that's her 6th point. She's now the leading scorer. She's got 10 for the game. Plugs 38-13. Going to be Scecina ball. Melinda Bryant, Daniela Galvez come in. Leaving is Brooke Hartman and Lane Hooper. And this is kind of the way Coach Smith has operated the first 2 games and now the 3rd game with shuffling those 7 players. Maddie Barnes with a catch and shoot 3.
Maddie just didn't quite have her feet set.
Yeah.
Crusaders substitutions, number 31, Anna Wellborn, and number
31, Anna Wellborn has 2 points in the game. She's back in the lineup for Crusaders. 5'9" sophomore. Olivia Smith on the shot, no good. Maddie Golden comes down with it. It goes off her knee out of bounds. Good hustle by Anna Wellborn. Alex Delisle, 5'9" freshman into the lineup. Maddie Golden will have a seat. got a timeout taken. They were having trouble getting the ball inbounds. Coach takes the timeout. 38-13, 3:50 remaining in the third quarter. Coach, the Indiana Hoosiers and the Ohio State Buckeyes, two top 10 teams face off tomorrow. Got any early predictions?
Well,
I was kind of surprised the Ohio State's a 20-point favorite.
that's exactly what I was thinking.
And we know the history and tradition, but Indiana also has played Ohio State pretty tough
Yes, they have.
in recent years.
If you listen to the experts, they will. I'm not one of them. I'm listening to the experts on TV, but what they're talking about is Ohio State's secondary has not been fully tested and not probably the weaker part of a really, really, really good team. And IU's thrown the ball pretty good this year, so it'll be interesting to see. And the other important thing will be is if they can get to Justin Fields, because he's a really good quarterback, as we all know. But it's a great game. I mean, for IU, it's I don't know. I go back forever. I don't ever remember a game as big as this. I'm sure the Rose Bowl years were 1966 or 67, but big game. But I do not have a prediction, no.
Daniela Galvez with the steal, takes it the length of the court, lays it up. Maybe she can be the battleship that leads them into.
And she is left-handed, so that pays
Yes,
off
she
there.
is. Yes, she is. She was leading scorer for the 8th grade team last year. So now the Plugs with 2 juniors, a senior, and 2 freshmen in the lineup. That's going to be a foul on Maddie Barnes. Be her second foul.
Speedway foul number 32, Maddie Barnes, her second, team first. On the line for the Crusaders, number 15, Ava Smith.
15, Ava Smith will be at the line for 2 free throws. Makes the first. It's a first free throw attempt for the Crusaders. Maddie Barnes goes to the bench. Brooke Hartman comes in.
And I believe the first point of the quarter for the Crusaders, I believe.
2 free throws. And you are correct. That's the first point of the quarter.
Bounce pass would have worked there pretty good, I
Yes,
think.
it would have.
But you know what? The other side of that is the unselfishness that this team shows, particularly. Like, it doesn't matter who you are. If you're open, you're going to get it.
Alex DeLisle with the rebound to Camille Perry. They're going to have a foul on number 15, Ava Smith.
Crusader foul on number 15.
Daniela Galvez will go to the line for the Spark Plugs.
On the line for the Spark Plug shooting 2, number 33, Daniela Galvin.
Hits the first. Misses the second. Spark Plugs, the man-to-man defense they've used almost the entire game. Neil Perry with the steal. Brooke Hartman with a shot. Looked like she got fouled, but no foul called. Danielle Galvez with the rebound. Camille Perry with the ball. To Alex Delisle. Delisle shot misses. Crusaders come down with the rebound. 45 seconds remaining in this third quarter. Melinda Bryant with a near steal. 3-point shot attempt by the Crusaders, no good. 31, Anna Welborn comes down with a rebound.
Speedway foul on number 23, Camille Perry.
Camille Perry with the foul for
On
the
the line
Spark
for
Plugs.
Crusaders, number 31, Anna Wellborn.
Anna Welborn misses her first free throw attempt of the night.
Crusaders, number 2,
She has 2 points.
number 24, Sierra Berry.
Hits the second. Crusaders now 3 for 4 from the free throw line. Brooke Hartman with 3 from the corner.
Bingo.
And it's good. At the buzzer.
And that was a good quarter for the Spark Plugs, I believe, outscoring Scecina 18-3, it looks like. Probably picked up the speed of the game a little bit more than what it was at the beginning, as we talked about several times. But a lot of easy baskets. Be interesting to see here how we're doing on three-pointers, because it seems like we've
Well, picked up 3 more that quarter. So I believe that's 6 for the night.
Well, it's always fun to, I know Coach Smith after the game will have a lot of positives, but there's always things you can work on. It's always nice to work on those things after a big win.
Well, Coach, we were talking about the scoring for the Spark Plugs. At halftime, the Spark Plugs had 3 people with 7 points. And now after 3 quarters, they've got 3 with 10 and 2 with 7.
Wow.
Melinda Bryant's 3, so 6 different scores for the Spark Plugs. Brooke Hartman, Camille Perry, Maddie Golden with 10. Maddie Barnes, Danielle Galvez with 7, and Melinda Bryant with 3. Rounds out the Spark Plugs scoring. Nessa Asher scores her 3rd field goal. She's a leading scorer for the Crusaders. Brooke Hartman for field goal. She's now Speedway's leading scorer with 12. Lane Hooper gets into the scoring act for the Spark Plugs with her first field goal.
And one.
Field goal by Camille Perry. She now has 12 points.
Basket counts for number 23, Camille Perry. Foul was by number 23.
That was on 23, Jalania Durr.
On line shooting 1, Camille Perry.
Camille Perry will go to the line to try to complete the old-fashioned three-point play. And she misses a free throw. Lane Hooper's right there, though, and the Sparkplugs are going to have the ball. As I said earlier, she's a role player that hustles in there, plays good defense, very unselfish. Maddie Barnes for three. You know, that shot, and you mentioned one in the first half too, almost wasn't just, it was a catch and shoot, but it just wasn't on balance like sometimes her shots are. Maddie Barnes is a good example of
Nice play. Good play.
probably the best overall player that the Sparkplug had, but very unselfish. She's a good athlete. Gonna play volleyball or basketball somewhere. That's her hope. Rick Hartman with the rebound. Good pass to Maddie Golden to Lane Hooper. Lane Hooper now with her fourth point. (57-18). 5:35 remaining in the ball game. Sparkplugs will take over. Tamina Gibson coming into the lineup. Audrey Burrell, Daniela Galvez, Alex Delisle, so 3 freshmen and a sophomore coming into the lineup. And the 4 seniors come out of the lineup all at one time. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, it is.
So now you've got junior Camille Perry, sophomore Tamina Gibson, freshman Audrey Burrell, freshman Daniela Galvez, and freshman Alex Delisle in the lineup for the Sparkplugs. Junior Melinda Bryant. Guess Audrey Burrell is not in the game yet. That was Melinda Bryant coming into the game. Little jump shot from Melinda. Oh, around and out. We'll see Audrey Burrell, I'm sure. Melinda Bryant with a rebound. Camille Perry.
Ooh, nice move. Good move, but couldn't quite
Good
finish
move.
it.
Crusader substitution number
Old college
31,
coach Tate Slock would say that was $1 million move and a 50-cent shot.
I think they refer to that as the Euro move.
Yes.
It kind of looked like.
Yeah, yeah. And that's something that didn't
Yeah,
exist.
no. But part of the reason we didn't have any European players for a long time, but we've got a lot of good ones
You know,
now.
it's interesting, if you look at the European players, the stereotypic European player is a fundamentally sound, good shooter.
Yeah. Not a lot of flash. Just
And then Bogdanovich that played with the Pacers was just a good example of that type of.
Crusader basket 25, Allie
Allie Minton on the last field goal. Alex Delisle on the shot, no good. Foul's going to be on Camille Perry, but she got the worst of that deal.
foul on number 23, Camille Perry.
And there's Audrey Burrell coming into the game, replacing Camille Perry.
Checking in for
So now we have 3 freshmen. sophomore Tamina Gibson and junior Melinda Bryant. Galvez comes down with the ball. Alex Delisle will go to the line for 2 free throws. The foul is on number 24, Sierra Berry.
Foul on number 24, Sierra Berry. On the line is Spark Plug number 21, Alex Delisle.
Delisle misses her first free throw.
Speedway foul on number 21,
Alex Delisle with her first.
Crusaders number 24, Sierra Berry.
Sierra Berry, at 5'6", junior, will go to the line to shoot 2 for the Crusaders. Gets her first. And the second. The Crusaders 5 for 6 from the free throw line. Melinda Bryant for 3, and it's good.
Melinda Bryant.
That's Melinda's 6th point of the game on 2 3-pointers. Three-pointer by number 12, Olivia Smith.
Number 12, Olivia Smith. Crusader foul on number 12, Olivia Smith. Checking into the Crusaders.
Second foul on Olivia Smith.
Number 23, Jayla Derrick.
And that's going to send Daniela Galvez to the free throw line for the first one-on-one of the evening.
On the line is Spark Plug, Daniela Galvez.
You know, it doesn't always work out that way, but officials have done a nice job tonight. And I think most people would prefer to let them play, so to speak. Sometimes you can't do that, but
Yeah.
but they've not blown the whistle more than what they should tonight. And in a game that, quite honestly, a couple times got kind of raggedy, but
That's a double.
when I go to a game, I don't want to see. I would rather not see 50 free throws.
Yeah. And you know, these officials tonight, you haven't noticed them. Some
No.
games you'd think that
Exactly.
you came to watch the official work.
And sometimes you got to blow the whistle. I understand that, but
Audrey Burrell with a shot, misses. Alex Delisle the first miss. Audrey Burrell got the rebound, the second miss. 62-24.
I know in football this year, they were short on crews because of the COVID. And I have not heard from basketball. I mean, it's just starting up right now. I don't think it would be as much of a problem because you only need 3. Actually, we'd only have to have 2.
And we're going to have a foul on Audrey Burrell, number 3.
Speedway foul on number 3, Audrey Burrell.
That's her first.
Her first
6th on the team. And that'll be spark plug ball. 1:29 remaining in the game, 62-24.
I do recognize one of the officials, Matt Knezovich down here, been officiating a long time. IHSAA, a little commercial, IHSAA always looking for officials in all sports.
Mina Gibson with the shot, no good.
He's going to go to 2-0 in the conference, which is huge. I don't have the schedule with us because kind of the way 2020 is going. My printer ran out of ink today, but if I remember right, other years, we always started off with Triton Central the first game of the year,
Yes.
one of the first games. That's
Yes.
a good move getting them off that first game.
And they're ranked once again.
Oh yeah, they've had tremendous teams for a long, long time. But
Yeah, there's a case, Coach, where I know when they introduce their starting lineups, they tell you what city they're from because they've got so many kids that, be they from Martinsville or Shelbyville, they're one of the open enrollment schools that are in our conference.
yes,
They're around the state. That
and a lot of people don't know. That's something we don't. We
Yeah.
have Speedway kids in our school and our program.
Ladies and gentlemen,
we will be right back with a wrap up of tonight's game and tell you about the scoring in just a moment.
located around Morris Pollard Gymnasium, we would certainly appreciate your assistance.
Thank you, everybody, for showing up tonight for senior night. Please exit the building shortly after the game has ended. We ask fans on both teams to do not congregate on the floor, in the stands, or in the lobby. Please wait outside or in your vehicles for your student athlete to exit the building.
16. Before we go over the scoring for tonight's game, we thought we might mention that due to COVID things, we're not having interviews. We said that earlier. We'll repeat it now. There will be no after-game interviews. We're going to interview some seniors tonight, but maybe a couple weeks from now we'll be able to do that. Let's look at Speedway scoring, and then we'll wrap things up. Melinda Bryant had 6 points. Brooke Hartman had 12. Lane Hooper 4. Camille Perry 12. Maddie Golden 12. Maddie Barnes 7. And Daniela Galvez 9. So Maddie Barnes didn't shoot much in the second half, but did not score in the second half, which goes back to the unselfishness of her. But 3 players with 12, 1 with 9, 7, 6, and 4. A good all-around division of the points scored for the Sparkplugs for their 62 points. Again, the final score was 62-24. Sparkplugs moved to 3-0. Scecina goes to 0-3. We will be here Tuesday night for the boys' first game of the season against North Montgomery. On behalf of Ron Probst, former basketball coach here at Speedway High School, and myself, Tom Smith, we will see you at the next Speedway televised home basketball game. Thanks to Brian Pierce, Bill P. for their work in tonight's game. Good night, and have a pleasant tomorrow. So I'm not going to go down and give this.